What's up, you guys? How you guys doing? And today I'm gonna be talking about love. There's a lot of people that oftentimes blame love. A lot of people think love is pain, that love doesn't exist, that love hurts, that love is weak, that having a good heart means that you're weaker than others. In my opinion, that's not true. Love does very much exist. Love is the reason we wake up every day. Love is the reason why we have purpose. Love is the reason why a lot of us seek what we seek, whether that's a career, whether that's a relationship, whether that's a deeper understanding of life and ourselves. Love is ultimately the root of life. That's what life's about. Although not a lot of love is shown in the best way, love is definitely still present. A lot of people think love in relationships, let's say, if they were to get betrayed in any way, some people oftentimes after that point, they give up on love. Then they wonder why they struggle after a relationship doesn't work out, because not only did they give up who they expected love from, but they've given up on love. It's not love that hurt them in the relationship. It's the person. It's the person they expected it from. A lot of times people say, you know what, I'm just gonna give up on love. I never really understand that. It's like, why are you giving up on love? If anything, love is the thing keeping you going every day. We are all loved in some way or form. And for those people that say love doesn't exist, that they don't see love, that they don't feel love, if there's ever a time where I start to feel like love doesn't exist, I start to create love. I start to think and imagine how I would treat someone I love. And I bring that energy to myself, you know? If you feel like you lack affection, if you feel like you lack care, whatever you feel like you lack, start to create it. If you can't see love around you, create love. Create that love that you don't see. Create that love that you feel doesn't exist. Because a lot of times when people have a vision, like the first creator of airplanes or the first creator of cars, you know, usually when people don't see anything, they create it. They bring what they imagine, what they envision, they bring it to life. So if you don't see love happening, then create love. And I know that may be hard. Navigating through life without love is harder than navigating life with love, because love is the root. Love is the main motive of life. So you taking out love is like you taking out the root of yourself. And without the root, there is nothing that motivates you. There's nothing giving you energy, which is a lot of the time why depressed people, they don't feel the need to wake up. When depressed people or sad people stay in bed, it's because they have lost their root of love. A lot of times when people give up on love, notice how they no longer have a motive. They no longer feel a drive. They no longer feel a need. Most people without love don't feel the need to live anymore, because love is the root of life. If love was not the root of life, if love wasn't the purpose of life here, if we weren't created from love, like we would be able to live peacefully without love. The reason why we are living is because of love. Because without love, we don't exist. That's proven every day. It's proven every day with suicide. It's proven every day with murders. A lot of people who harbor hate instead of love. Once you leave that road of love, you're on the road to destruction. For those people who feel like love has hurt them, I believe love hasn't hurt you. Your idealistic love hurt you. What you thought love was hurt you. It's what you made yourself believe love was. Love is an exchange, you know? What's given will be received. If you ever felt like you was giving more than your partner, or if you are giving more than your partner, or giving more to your friend or whoever you're giving love to right now, and they're not giving you the same respect, the same care, the same love, the same affection in return, automatically you know it's not love. A lot of the times people have love for materials, like cars, like video games, like things outside of them. A lot of people have they have love for things that really don't really matter as much as a person. But you see them treat these things with care and keep these things close to them and try not to like break it or anything. If somebody loves you, they won't try to break you. Have you ever seen somebody that loved the material, whether it's like some type of vase or something, just grab it and smash it on the floor? No, you'll never see somebody do that, because if they care about it, they're not gonna break it. A lot of the people here sometimes feel shattered because of what they believed love was, or because they thought this person loved me. Because whether it's the media, whether people watch relationship trends or anything, they create a false idea of what love is. The internet and other people maybe have you believe in something that's false. Like, love stays strong during the storms of life, because love definitely has its test. Just because you love someone and just because they love you doesn't mean there's not going to be any problems, doesn't mean there's not going to be any conflict, doesn't mean it's going to be a clean slate, because at the same time we're still people. So a lot of other emotions cloud our hearts. We have negative thoughts. A lot of times we have things that we harbor inside of us that are hurting us and stuff, and we come to conflict and we come to fighting. But love will keep us together during the storm and allow us to come to compromise and understanding rather than tear us apart, you know? So a lot of the time, if your relationship can't even withstand a storm, like in the storm, if you're the type of person that is willing to talk, understand, and come to a compromise, then you have love. If you're the type of person to say, no, I don't want to talk to my partner, we could just forget about it, sweep it under the rug, and move on, that's not love. Because love is understanding. People will say being vulnerable is weak. You know, love is weak. Some people have a hard time even saying the words, I love you, you know, because a lot of the times people's egos, people's pride won't allow them to love. They've really been taught or learned something that is definitely more destructive than anything. Because love and vulnerability is not weak. It takes a certain amount of courage to even open up. What's weak is running from your problems. What's weak is fleeing from your problems, fleeing from your emotions, fleeing from all this stuff. That's what's weak. Not being able to face conflict, not being able to face yourself, not being able to be real with yourself, not being able to speak how you truly feel, that's weak. And the reason I say it's weak is because it takes a certain amount of strength to open up. It takes a certain amount of strength to speak your mind. It takes a certain amount of strength to be bold. It takes a certain amount of strength to be open. It's not every day where you see somebody completely vulnerable and open and speaking how they truly feel. Because we live in a society, people are fake. People put on masks. People like to appear a certain way. So, in my opinion, being able to be vulnerable and being able to be loving and open and expressive is actually pretty strong, especially when surrounded by people who are not like that, you know? Surrounded by people who would judge you, surrounded by people who would criticize you, surrounded by people who would try to turn your emotions against you. So love does not make you weak. Saying the word love or I love you does not make you weak, you know? And I can kind of understand that being a learned thing, because sometimes in people's childhood, they weren't really told the word love, or they weren't really taught loved in a proper way, and they weren't really loved in a proper way. That's why we have love languages. It's because a lot of the time, people use different ways to show love, you know? Or people have created different ways to show love that is easier for them to show love. Maybe not with words, but maybe how with spending time with you or giving you a whole bunch of gifts. But at the end of the day, that's the reason a lot of the time love is misinterpreted, is because we're not upfront, because we can't say how much we love someone, because we can't put ourselves aside to express ourselves and to try to get others to understand that we love them, you know? A lot of times, if you're giving gifts, if you're spending time with people, you could be doing everything. A lot of people spend time with their family all the time and still don't feel loved. They get gifts and still don't feel loved, you know? Because I believe love is a lot deeper than what we treat it like, you know? People try to divide love into these different categories, but at the end of the day, I believe ultimately love is shown when we're able to consider somebody else, and when we're able to like put our pride, ego, put ourselves aside to tell them how much we appreciate them, how much they mean to us in our lives, how much their existence and everything means to us, and how much we care about them, and how happy we are to see that they're still here, and that every moment that we've spent with them, it's been a blessing. You know, it's really been a blessing amongst all of us, amongst us. As a believer, love is not what killed Jesus. Some people that I talked to used to say that Jesus was weak, this and that and the other, but love didn't kill Jesus. It was hate. It's hate is what hurts us. It's hate that kills us. Ultimately, it's hate that kills us. It's nothing else but hate. It's hate that makes every morning dreadful. It's hate that makes us not accept ourselves. It's hate that tells us we're ugly. It's hate that makes us not want to be alive anymore. It's easier for some people to say that they hate you rather than they love you. I had friends like that at one point. I don't want to really call them friends, but I had people in my life that I considered friends at one point. It would be easier for them to say they hate me than to say that they love me. And saying that they love me would make them uncomfortable, but saying that they hate me literally slipped right off their tongue. For some people, hate is easier, and that's why they take the route of hate, because hate is a lot more easier than loving people. Choosing anger is a lot more easier than choosing peace. It's a lot more easier sometimes for somebody to fight with you than to have a conversation with you. And that's a lot of what's wrong with the world. It's because a lot of this world is taught that hate is strong and love is weak. That if you love somebody, or if you respect somebody, you're weak, you become their footstool, this and that and the other. A lot of the time the media pushes that out. They misinterpret love, and they try to make you feel weak for being a loving person. They try to make you feel weak when a bully or somebody challenges them to a fight and they choose not to fight because they say the person is not worth it. What do people call you? Some people call you scared. They don't call you smart. They don't call you peaceful. They say you're scared. They're saying you're weak. You're a punk. You're this and that and the other. Sometimes they fight, they lose, and then they're worse off because now they feel like a loser. Now they feel like a failure. Now they feel embarrassed. But when you actually walk away, you avoid all of that. You avoid that pain. Even if you do win the fight, what do you really gain besides that temporary satisfaction? That temporary satisfaction is all you really gain. But at the end of the day, you haven't really gained anything. All you did is pretty much prove that you're easy. If somebody tells you something, hey, wanna fight? You're easier to tempt. That's why it's like the most violent people live the worst kind of lives. It's because of what they chose. It's because of what they do. It's because of how they treat other people. But pretty much, I just wanted to make this video saying that love is strong. You know, love is powerful. And love is what helps us grow. Love is what keeps us going in life. And so if you ever felt like love hurt you, know that it hasn't hurt you. Know that love has always been there for you. Through all the storms of life, love is the thing that kept you walking and waking up. I just want to say I love every single last one of you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and bye.